Hey guys, it's Raviolion. First, I want to say sorry for being MIA a lot lately. I've had a few life changes, such as having a kid and whatnot. Secondly, I have switched over to YouTube streaming instead of Twitch streaming. But with that, I just want to apologize for not having a lot of videos up. However, I have had a few requests to remake my how to trade video for Foundation, and that's what we're going to do today. Since the new UI came out, it has changed a lot, as I'm sure a lot of you have seen already. But I am remaking it with the new things, the current look of it, and everything. So with that, let's begin. So this is the current trade menu. If you go into your book or you hit tab, you can go to the third one where it says trade or hit F3. You could also go into right here where it says trade routes, and then of course your resources tab. So trading in general, I don't know the exact numbers. I've had a couple of questions on that. I don't personally know the exact numbers as it doesn't super affect me. You could also look up here where it says your average daily balance, and it'll say like your market, your tavern, and then trade. That will be a red or a yellow number there. That will be your number if you're losing money on trade, if you're earning money on trade. I don't have exact numbers for you. That's the best I can kind of give you. I personally do not focus on trade. But with that information there, do with it as you might. However, if you feel like at first starting up trade is a good thing, then hey, there you go. It really depends where you are. I personally, like I said, I don't actually dwell onto trading. Getting into it. So you go to your trade tab and you go to your trade routes. You will have like an option to buy your trade route for certain amounts of materials. So I think one's bread. I think one might be some type of resource. So all of them, I believe, are resources. Then when you go into your estates, you have one down here, right here, 10 citizens and 40, you'll get a trade bonus. Another trade bonus here, trade bonus here. You'll get your bonuses for those, but your main thing will be in this tab for trade. So I have all mine activated. First, how to read this. Sometimes it could be a little confusing. This specific trader here, the want to buy is what they want and how much they're going to pay for it. The wants to sell is what they're willing to give you for that certain price. So, for instance, this guy's willing to give me honey for 40. Now, it doesn't say how many they have, but they really don't buy a whole lot. So if you put 100 out there for them to buy, say you have swords. Say you have a lot of swords and you want to get rid of them. So you put up 100 swords. They're not going to buy 100 swords. They might buy a 15. And then you're still going to have a lot. So don't focus on trade as your main thing. You'll still have a lot of surplus. But that really does help when it comes to tools. I know starting up, my thing is I buy a lot of tools starting up because I can never make enough. So I always buy a ton of tools, but I usually never buy anything else. The resources will show you what you have in your granaries and in your warehouses. So I have a ton of berries everywhere. So I have 4,500 berries, and I said sell all above this specific value. So I set 3,500 because I have over 1,100 villagers, and that makes sure that everybody at least gets 3 or 4, you know. I set that specific number just to make sure I had enough and I could sell them. So when this guy here comes in, he says he wants some berries, and he's willing to buy them for 4 apiece. If I have 100 out there, he's probably only going to buy like 10 to 20, which will help. When you're lower, it'll help get you like a new property or, you know, something of that sort. And then I also have a bunch of glass stored up and iron ores and candles and whatnot. So that menu there will show you specifically what you have available to sell. Now, if you don't want to sell it, you just go to the X and you click on the X, which says no trade, which is where it's all defaulted to. Now, this button here will say buy until my inventory reaches this. For instance, I can never get my tools to do what I need them to do. So right now I have 495 tools. I am buying until it hits 30. So if my inventory is already above 30, so say I had 31 tools and the guy comes through with tools and he wants to sell them. I'm not going to buy any because my inventories are 30 or above. Now, say you wanted to get rid of a ton of things, such as berries or polished stones, you can set your own number and say buy above or sell above this. That means you will end up with, say you had 140 tools. Sorry, 140 stone. My example here is that I have 125 polished stone that I want to keep. So polished stone and stone. I have a lot of stone always, so I can get rid of a lot of polished stone and just remake it all. So I'm like, just leave me 125. It's leaving me 125. Everything else. So if I had 140, and the guy came through, he's buying 15 of that. That leaves me my 125. Now, for some reason, in an exaggeration, because they won't do this, say I wanted to make sure I had 125 and I had 1,000 that I wanted to get rid of. They would take all that 1,000. Of course, like I said, that's a huge exaggeration. They're not actually going to do that. Unfortunately, I would really like them to because I don't want all that stuff. But that would also be super drastic. So they don't do that. They only take it like 10 to 20 at a time, which of course by the time they come around next, you've already made that plus some and you're still getting a lot of surplus. But this is the trade tab for your resources. And then of course, if you want to stockpile it, it won't put them, it won't let them put it up for sale. It won't let them put it anywhere except it stockpiles. It makes it so you can put 1,000 into an area, and if you need to use that somewhere, you can use that. And then this will show you where you can track it. So currently, I hit the track button, and it will show me where I've got boar going in. So I've got 12 between these two, 0 here. There's a couple other places I've got some boar, 50 over here. It just depends on how you want to run your village. If you want to run it trade-based, good for you. Like, if you can run it and you can make it that well, good for you. I personally don't run trade that often. I have, I think, 3 things. So I've got berries, planks, and polished stone. I've got a few things, I guess. Wine, because I have a surplus of wine. Honey, barrels, and swords. I have an obnoxious amount of all of those, so I've been selling a lot of those. Now, they added candles. I only have 633, which I don't absolutely need to have a whole lot, so I could go into here and say, hey, take my candles. And this guy right here would buy them for 100. But it depends on what you want to run, how you want to run it. If you don't want to run it trade-based, that's fine too. I don't, and I've got almost 30,000 gold. It's based on what you want to do. So don't make it, don't exactly go off and be like, oh, everybody has to do trade. No, not everybody has to do trade. I put a little bit out there, but like I showed you, I only get like 35. I get 35 from my trade. My markets give me everything else. I got a couple of requests to redo this video from back when I did do it originally because it was from before the new UI. So since this UI has hit, it does look different. I will put those names around here. And with that, I hope to see you in a YouTube live one of these days. And if not, thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and you all have a wonderful day.